couldn't agree with you more, and I'm genuinely excited that you're talking about the struggles of Philadelphia early on in their offense because of how long it takes time for a new unit to mesh and for new stars to be incorporated. Because our first topic here today is that the Lakers are not going to be a top 4 team in the West. And I want to hear why you're right and people like the experts over at Bovada Sportsbook are wrong.
I'm going to tell you why, Chris. The Lakers look, and obviously it goes sort of against what I was just talking about with the Sixers.
Sure does.
But this again feels like a team that is going to be extremely reliant on LeBron and AD, and when one of them leaves the court, it's shambles. They don't have any other scoring. What did KCP do last game? I think he played like 28 minutes. He had 5 fouls and no points. Like, that's a guy who they're going to need to contribute. And obviously, he's not going to go 0 for every single game, but it just didn't. It was not good. It was not good for the Lakers, and they faded down the stretch. I mean, you saw a team that tied. It was 85-85 going into the fourth quarter with a Clippers team that was without arguably their second best player in Paul George, and they just couldn't get it done. They had nothing for them in the fourth quarter in terms of offense. They couldn't score. They couldn't do any of it.
I'm sorry, arguably their second best player? Is there someone else in contention for that role?
I mean, there's plenty of guys on the Clippers.
Stop it. It is Kawhi and then Paul George, and then there is a chasm between PG-13 and that next guy who, I don't know, Patrick Beverly, maybe Shamet, maybe Lou Will. I guess it's probably Lou Will.
It's got to be Lou Will, and he's their sixth man, which is the craziest part.
Well, it's a Jamal Crawford thing. That's the role, and it works. I mean, Lou Williams played the second most minutes of anyone on that team. In fact, it's funny. We talk about that Lakers-Clippers game, which I didn't start watching until later on because I watched all of the Pelicans-Raptors game, and then that ended up going to overtime, and I was disenchanted by the Raptors winning because I hate that team and I have an irrational hatred of Pascal Siakam. But we're not here to discuss that. I saw that the Lakers were up like 11-2, and I was like, I don't really want to watch the Lakers and LeBron go win a game. So I went to work, and then I looked later on. It was a close game, so I tuned it on here in the office. But it's interesting that their top 2 guys in terms of minutes were both bench players. Montrezl Harrell played 38 minutes and Lou Williams played 37. The next closest was Kawhi at 32.
Yeah, I mean, and Harrell and Lou Will were arguably outside of, I mean, obviously Kawhi got his his points with his 30, but I mean, Harrell was a monster on the boards inside, and Lou Will could score at will, and nobody could step up and stop them. Avery Bradley had nothing on defense. Danny Green, same thing. I mean, these guys were getting to the buckets. I mean, you talk about the bench for the Lakers, and I mean, obviously, you're going to get Rondo back here at some point, so the bench will obviously change up a little bit, but I mean, I guess you're moving who? Danny Green to the bench? So you're starting 5?
No, you're not moving Danny Green to the bench.
Are you moving Avery Bradley?
Of course you're moving Avery Bradley to the bench. Danny Green was the best player on the Lakers on Monday. Now, I know that's
of course
Tuesday.
He was.
I know that's not going to be the case most nights, but Danny Green is an incredible complementary piece to LeBron and Anthony Davis because he is willing to stand in the corner and make shots when he gets the ball. 10 of 14 from the 10 of 14 from the field, 7 of 9 from 3. 1 of 1 from the line, gets his 2 steals, plays his trademark strong defense. Danny Green's going to be an invaluable piece for this team, even with Rondo back. And Rondo's significantly going to improve both the ball movement and the defensive effort from this team. I don't know exactly what the plan is if Rondo comes back, though, because there's all this talk that LeBron James is a full-time point guard now, and that looked like a forced and somewhat uncomfortable role. 8 assists, but turns the ball over 5 times. 7 of 19 from the field, 1 of 5 from 3 of 4 from the line. 18 points. Kind of a mediocre opening day for LeBron. I don't know about this point guard thing. I think the offense is weird, kind of like, not to make things everything come back to Philadelphia, but I think the Philly offense runs weirdly when Josh Richardson's playing point guard. This Lakers team is a good team. They're gonna gel. They're gonna come together. To say they're not a top 4 team in the West, and I'd also like to point out that we've actually done this topic before, but I let it go because I thought, he's still wrong. And things are changed now, where it's a little updated. I believe you argued that in the past the Lakers wouldn't get home court in the playoffs, which effectively means they won't be a top 4 team. So
yeah, but now we can actually base it off of things that we've seen on the actual court itself.
In one game.
I'm here for the smallest of sample sizes, Chris. I just think, especially when it came down to when guys needed to step up, LeBron scored, 4 points in the second half? He was basically, unnoticeable in that second half. It's weird to say that about arguably the best player in the NBA. I mean, I guess not now, but you could still say he's in the top 3. It's really, really weird for that to happen, especially in what you would think they would want to be like a statement game. Yeah. I mean, the Lakers went into that game as the favorite. Sure. They were 3.5-point favorites heading into that game, and you would think that they wanted to go out there and really sort of impose their will and prove that they're still the big brother in Los Angeles, and I don't think that's the case right about now.
Who do you bring up an interesting point here, calling LeBron a top 3 player in the NBA. I would say, in my world, my own personal rankings, Giannis is clearly number 1 and Kawhi is number 2. I think there's a lot of other guys who can be that third guy. You like LeBron over the Stephs and the Hardens and all of those?
Yeah, I mean, I still think LeBron, when LeBron wants to play, LeBron is easily the third best player in the league. There's just too many intangibles. When he actually tries on defense, we see what happens. The chase down blocks. He can actually, defend. He's a very skilled passer when he wants to be. The problem is we don't get 100% LeBron effort throughout the season anymore. And the reason is just because LeBron's 35 at this point. I mean, you can't do every game at 150% in the regular season when you're playing all 82. But if you want to just talk about one game, who you're taking, I would take LeBron over pretty much everybody else in the league except for the 2 guys that you mentioned.
I have a hard time with this just because I think James Harden is the most gifted natural scorer that either one of us has ever seen in our lifetimes. So I
can agree to that.
I have a difficulty not putting James Harden at 3. Harden is a guy, scoring is so easy for him. He's creating these dumb things to do just to make it more challenging for himself.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely, he sort of revolutionized the way that a lot of guys play, on the ball and that ISO game that he's so good at. I mean, obviously he had that run, was it last year with the 30-point games and how many he had in a row, and he's incredible. There's no doubt about it, but he leaves a little bit to be desired in terms of defense and things like that. He's certainly improved. But I just think that if I'm talking about a big money game and a guy that I want, a guy who's been there before, a proven winner, one that doesn't fold, LeBron doesn't not show up in big games for the most part.
Well, I have mentioned this before, and you are an avid sports gambler. I mean, in your history, and Vegas tends to be right. I think you have learned that lesson over the years. They tend to know
far too many times.
Yeah, tend to know what they're talking about. So when I see over at Bovada that the Lakers, this is a little confusing to me for the record, a little that the Lakers here are the second most likely team to come out of the Western Conference. Bovada has the Clippers at the Clippers at plus 210, the Lakers at plus 250. However, they have the Lakers as the favorites to win the NBA championship. If you can explain that one to me, I would love to hear it. But, Vegas tends to be pretty close to right most of the time, and this would be hugely wrong. They have the Lakers as the favorites, followed by the Clippers, the Bucks, the Rockets, the Sixers, the Warriors, the Jazz, etc., etc. Lakers are the favorites. Why are you right and Bovada's wrong?
I think that there's a mystique when it comes to LeBron and his history. I mean, the guy basically. I mean, the Heat teams you can argue he didn't carry, but outside of those years with the Heat, he was carrying dead teams to the postseason and to the finals. I mean, obviously, the Kyrie, Kevin Love year, the year they actually, or the year before they won in Cleveland, LeBron had nothing on his side when once Kyrie got hurt in the actual finals, and Love got hurt in the first round that year, the Kelly Olynyk slam game.
Yeah.
I mean, he did it well in advance of the beginning, the Miami years when he was dragging the team that took on the Spurs in the finals. LeBron just has that. He has that mystique about him, and I think that's what gives Vegas that little bit of push to make them heavy favorites.
Fine, but it's not just a matter of being heavy favorites, and it's a matter of they are the absolute favorite to win the NBA championship, and your argument is that there are 4 teams in the Western Conference alone that are better than them.
Yes, I truly believe there are. I truly believe there are. Because what we're looking at, I mean, if you take into account the teams that are in the West, right? The Clippers, I think, especially adding Paul George to what they already have, which is already good, I think the Clippers are clearly better than them. The Nuggets, I still like. I think they are clearly better than them. The Jazz are certainly an argument. You can definitely make an argument there that they are better than them. The Trailblazers, that's another team, one that's been continuously good year after year after year. I think they have a shot to be better than them. I think Dallas is greatly improved, and especially adding Kristaps, reportedly and looked very healthy, Kristaps Porzingis. I think that's going to greatly improve them. I don't think they're necessarily a top 4 seed, but if Luka Doncic takes a big step, that's a team that can pass this Lakers team, because I don't think the depth is there that's going to help them. And I also think that the Lakers don't necessarily care about their seeding when it comes to the playoffs. It's one of those things where, hey, we have arguably 2 top 5 or top 10 players in the league on our team, and Anthony Davis and LeBron. Let's just get into the playoffs, and it doesn't matter. It's sort of like LeBron's second. No, I guess it would have been his last year in Cleveland, where they really it didn't matter that the Raptors were the number 1 seed. Once they got to them in the second round, it was sweep city. Who cared? I think the Cavs were the 4 seed that year, and they all top 4 seeds advanced, and LeBron went into the Raptors' house and took their souls away.
Look, I can get behind you with a couple of these teams you're talking about. When you start getting to Dallas is going to be better than the Lakers, that's the ramblings of a crazy person.
I didn't even mention the Jazz or the Rockets. We're gonna see tonight how good these Rockets actually are. I believe don't they play Milwaukee tonight at 8:00?
They kick off in 26 minutes.
Yeah, see, I can't wait. I'm actually. I want to be a giant backer of this Houston team because of the doubt. Because of the doubters on this team and the people that they act like this James Harden Russell Westbrook pairing isn't going to work.
Mm-hmm.
I feel so strongly against that, and I think this team is going to be way better than a lot of people think. I know we did it as a topic just a few weeks ago. I'm really intrigued to see how this starts tonight against the defending Eastern Conference champions.
Yeah, I can't ever support a team that Russell Westbrook's on. I just hate him so much. But I am.
What's with the hate?
I mean, he's got a beef with Joe. He's a jerk. Joe's my guy.
Oh my God! Yeah.
In Embiid, I trust.
That's fine. I understand loyalty to a certain extent,
and I just think Westbrook comes off as a jackass. I do think that he's about himself.
Yeah, you could certainly say that. There's definitely an air of not arrogance. I don't know if arrogance is necessarily what I'm looking for.
It is accurate, but it might not be what you're looking for.
Yeah, it's like he's a very big, it seems like chip on his shoulder guy, if that makes sense. Like he knows he's good, and he takes everything so personally that everything has to be like a chip on, like he's always going to be overcoming something. You know what I mean? And then once he does, or once he puts up a big game or something like that, he goes, he'll rub it in everybody's face, and that can certainly rub people the wrong way.
Yes, and he can shoot his team out of a playoff series. So good for him. Good luck with Houston. I'm interested to see the Clippers-Warriors game. I think D'Angelo might be in for a really big season in Golden State. Well, it's going to be interesting to see this team without Clay. Steve Kerr backed off of that comment that he made earlier in the week, now saying that he wasn't suggesting that Clay could miss the season when he said, Clay could miss the season.
Clay's gonna miss the season.
Not what I meant.
No.
Read between the lines. Don't take me for my word.
It was a weird comment from your boy Steve Kerr.
I don't know he's my boy, but I am interested in watching this team play in a post-Durant era. I think D'Angelo's going to have a big year. I think Steph's going to have a big year. I think Draymond's going to have a bigger scoring year than we're accustomed to. So good to have the NBA back. Also, those Atlanta Hawks red hot in Detroit right now. 16 points in the first quarter for Trae Young, who I know you don't really get second-year players to win Most Improved, but I think Trae Young takes the step into being that stratosphere of NBA superstar.
Yeah, he's definitely an intriguing guy to watch this year.
He is good at basketball. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.